sending out the agreement for Mike and I to officially, legally, on paper, become partners, and him to be a partner in Jakt. So even though we agreed on all the terms and everything, it just took a few months to get all the legal documents prepared, but they're finally done. So now I'm sending it out to him. We're finally going to sign. Exciting times.
Disappear like magic. Had to get it clean, now I'm making smash hits. Now they know my name all around the atlas.
Alright, so I'm Mike. I'm the Chief Operations Officer here at Jakt. I'm sitting here with our CEO, Anthony Tumbiolo. Dom, before we dig in, tell us a little about yourself.
So I'm Dominic. Thanks for having me, guys. I head up strategy at Airtime. It's a holistic role that crosses business, product, and marketing. I'm really helping Daniel Klaus, our president, to drive really the growth of this company and hopefully the evolution of the next great social network. Excited to be here. And I just want to, create fun wherever you want it, spontaneous fun. So great, spontaneity is your experience principle that you're going to codify, and every time we're sitting down to ideate how to solve a specific problem, we have these 3 experience principles up on the wall, and we're always going to be guided in terms of our ideation with that. And so it's more than just like the execution of the experience design, which is dictation, which is probably where your clients are today, right? They're probably like building a mobile website, and you're actually like, whoa, like what experience are we actually designing? What problem are we solving for here?
This is actually what you'll see on the process page that I've redesigned again, but it basically goes where the top layer, this whole thing is called experience design. And then within it is all these things that we do along the spectrum, but the overarching principle is experience design. That's actually what
I think it really is.
Yeah, I don't think this our problem is that we've always known this. Experience design, user journey, it's just the communication. Because you have to be able to, that's why I think it's almost a separate thing. There's our process, which this is how we think about everything, and then these are the services we offer to help you achieve them.
Yo! How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Let's see if we actually see someone. No.
Let me go get one for you.
Cool. When anyone's like interested, I'm like, okay, kind of want to meet. It's like,
well, I like that I know the
so anyways, yeah, so you're doing stuff with voice, and voice is super interesting to me.
it feels like the voice is something we've talked about for like 50, 60 years, like Star Trek in the 60s. And now it feels like we sort of hit the tipping point technology-wise, and now it's how do you design good experiences for it. All right, we have a whole set of tools for how we go through wireframes, how we ideate, how we design, how we prototype, right? How do figure all that stuff out in voice without needing to invest all the developer resources into it.
That's when my struggle was like looking in, I'm like, okay, obviously bought the Alexa, did all that, and I was like, all right, how do I start messing? So for me, I like to just start building and like doing shit, and then that informs like, okay, now I can take that and apply it to this use case, etc. Right? And that's been the biggest barrier. Is like, okay, I'm gonna have to spend a bunch of time, which is totally fine. That's how I started doing anything. But I was like, okay, am I really gonna dive into this? But this seems actually like super interesting what you guys are building, because it's like, okay, now I can actually prototype something.
Yeah, and then when you
actually see it like real.
Totally. I mean,
it's really cool.
You basically interact with this stuff. It feels like what sort of like the final production skill or action on these platforms is going to feel like.
Which is almost better than like any other prototyping tool, because like if you have like Envision or whatever, it never feels actually real.
Right. It's the idea of getting sort of as high fidelity as you can in the prototyping phase without investing all those resources. And then when you think about sort of like the client and agency use case and being able to like bring this into client pitches and make that part of the process.
That's what's really cool, because I'm as far as like what's coming to me, voice and even just like chat interfaces, we started doing a lot more with that. But I just don't like, I don't know, mobile, I don't know. It's not always the best solution. And now I think you hit it on the head. It's like, now it's like, is it at this tipping point, like when over the next couple of years or whatever it is, where it's like, voice is actually a better option. Just pure and simple.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's like now, there was a study that came out of Stanford a couple days ago that input via voice is like 3 times as effective as typing or using mobile device. And we're dealing with a world where we don't have such a thing, like there's no such thing as paid skills yet, right?
There's no store.
Paid apps brought the entire developer ecosystem in it because it was monetized. And they haven't monetized any of this stuff yet.
It's just all free.
Right, yeah, so that and I think once you then have better payment solutions in these platforms, right? So like once you have like the Stripe for voice, once Amazon Payments is accessible through that platform, I think it's going to sort of change the game, but it's sort of not where we are yet.
Yeah.
Want to do a quick demo?
Let's do it. Sweet.
So you basically have an introduction. In the world of voice, there's something called SSML, which is basically markup language. So if I want to say 101 versus 101, I can add SSML to it. It adds things like pauses, breaks, changes pronunciations of words. It's an industry standard. It's been around for a long time for IVR systems and everything. Then you identify what these different commands are, and then what the different responses are that go along with it. So you can basically like walk people through the experience. While the interface looks very linear, the actual prototype is pretty fluid. If you sort of say any of these commands throughout the conversation, SaySpring sort of routes it correctly and knows where you want to go. So sort of at any point during this process, you could start a guided tasting. You could do Whiskey 101.
Got it.
So it's not sort of as linear as it is visually represented, but at some point, we take an opinionated view on sort of how to visually represent it. And so we sort of, the user journey of walking through it is sort of how it makes sense in people's brains. So that's what we start with. So here we'll bring it for a spin. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 2:45 p.m.
Alexa, ask SaySpring for Johnny Walker.
Welcome to Johnny Walker. I have 200 years of whiskey knowledge. What do you want to do today? Choose a label, buy a bottle, Whiskey 101, or try a guided tasting?
Choose a label.
Are you looking for yourself or for a gift?
For myself.
Okay, let's find a label for your taste. First things first, I don't want to bust your budget, so should I set a cap at $80 or are you open to something more expensive?
Exit. Right, so it's pretty straightforward, but the idea is like you can basically just go in, create these things on the fly, interact with them, and then every time you do, it creates a transcript where you can see what somebody said, what the system recognized, so that you can start to do user testing, get this in front of users, right? And sort of like in the same way, like we're used to that workflow in web and mobile, now we can bring that same workflow to voice, design stuff, get it in front of people, do testing, get feedback, and like iterate, and then come up with a great experience, and then invest the resources to build this stuff.
It's awesome. This is great. Now I can actually play with it.
Yeah, totally. And you can like find out that stuff and basically put it in front of clients, go back and forth, right? Like iterate what that is, and then do user testing and sort of make sure it's good. But yeah, so however I can be helpful, and even if you have a client that you want to go pitch and you sort of want to brainstorm ideas, I obviously spend a lot of time thinking about what works in voice and what doesn't work in voice.
Awesome.
So this business is going to be successful when more and more people are building using stuff. So.
Yeah, your platform.
Yeah.
To build on top.
Yeah.
I love it. All right.
Cool.
This is super helpful.
Yeah,
really
no
appreciate it, man.
Thanks for coming in.
Exciting stuff. All right. Cool.
I have no idea. The team is coming in this weekend to take whatever they want to take.
Words.
Yeah, you want to make dibs on something?
Yeah, because there's this one painting that's always been here. And I'm like, I want this thing.
You talk to Jason about it. He'll probably let you have
I'll
it.
hit him up. Like, bargain.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Later.
Bye.
I guess see you next week then.
Yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye, Ken.
Bye, Leah.
I'll call Jason right now and see if I can. Actually, before we leave, I'm just gonna call him. See if I can. Like, yo, what are you doing with this?
Let's see if you can just pull it off the wall.
Yes, sir. I'm not even fucking. There you go, bye. I'm just calling Jason now. Uber everywhere. Go get that one.
Yeah, and Jay just whipped out.
Right?
It's Jay's turn. Jace,
Well, what was the questions?
the same one.
Questions?
What do we think about?
Just what was going on in your head while you, yeah, let me, what was going on
Yeah, take it
in
off.
your head during the meeting?
I think that the transparency is awesome. I think it's very valuable to the team to know what's going on in the background. It helps motivate people, knowing that there's forward growth. So I thought that that was very cool.
Always down.